I am the God that healeth thee. I am the Lord, your healer. I sent my word and healed your disease. I am the Lord, your healer.
The mystery and misunderstanding of dreams is what has made man to shape the world the way it is today. The world is in psychological chaos, philosophical catastrophes, because of the way people have handled this mystery that they discovered in the planet where they live. This mystery, this experience that is called dreams. Men have built almost all their superstitions on top of their dream experiences. Cults are formed because one person that thinks that he had a superior dream or the other came and began to influence people with some ideologies that they think they got from the dream that ended up being a cult. And so many religions has been built because this messenger or that messenger or that prophet had a dream. And then fraternities in school, fraternities among ladies, fraternities among people that lives in different villages, we are united together because one or two people had similar dreams. So much death has occurred because of misinterpretation of dream. So many people have had a dream that they didn't know how to explain or what happened to them, and it resulted to an immediate death. There was one that happened in Nigeria, I think in Akwa in Nigeria. A girl was sleeping and she had a dream where her uncle gave her yam porridge to eat. And after eating it in the dream, she woke up and got vomiting, and according to my friend that told me the story, her stomach began to swell and then she died. Because in their environment, their culture has said that eating in the dream is the worst taboo, that it is death, eating in the dream is death. That is what somebody interpreted eating in the dream to be, and it infiltrated into the culture. So anybody in that particular place that eats in the dream will be haunted. That is what we want to discuss about. People have lost their love relationship because somebody had a dream, maybe a dream that occurred with familiar faces. And then those people that have the face in the real life began to be accused by their loved ones. You are the person that is killing me. I didn't know that you are the witch that doesn't want to allow me to sleep. I didn't know that you are the person that doesn't want me to prosper. I saw you in my dream where you were pushing me and that. Because of this misrepresentation and misinterpretation, there are so many irreconcilable problems among relations that have loved themselves once. Many innocent people have been abused and accused because of dreams, because a neighbor dreamt, because the pastor said he dreamt, because the child said his dream. People have been continually haunted by creepy looking images in their dreams. What are we going to do? I saw one monster. He has the head of a man, the body of a woman, the toe of an animal. He has 200 teeth and is pursuing me. What are we going to do? A lot of people, graduates, professionals, mothers, fathers, children are being haunted in the dream continuously, and they don't know what to do about it. The pastors don't have solutions. The imam doesn't have solution. Many people don't have solution. They don't know what to do. They keep this embarrassment to themselves, and they don't know how to handle it. Some have gone as far as saying dream is the spiritual world, period. They say that the dream is the spiritual world. Anything they see in their dream is what is happening in their spiritual world. Nowadays, some churches have left the Bible and have based the doctrine of their churches upon the dream of their prophet, upon the dream of their pastor. When you are telling them this is what the Bible said, they said, no, our pastor dreamt 3 years ago, he wrote it in his book, or whatever, that so and so thing, and this is what we believe in the church today. The Bible, the truth of God is suffering because of the misrepresentation and misinterpretation that ignoramus and people that doesn't know much have inserted into dream. What is dream? Is dream reality? Is dream a good hypothesis with which we will judge life. What is dream? What is dream? I know you have dreams, but what is dream? The interpretation that your environment gave to you about dreams, is it the truth? Is there anything like dream book? We want to see all these things, to know if this thing people pray that says dream interpretation. If you see yourself wearing red clothes in the dream, this is what it means. If you see yourself, when there are cultural differences, what red means in Nigeria might not be what it means in the United States of America, might not be what it means in Ghana. So we want to look at all these things. But the fact that you bought this tape or got this tape or borrowed it from somebody, sitting down listening to it means that you are a different person in the world. Because it's not everybody that will be interested in this kind of thing I want to share. It means that you want to own yourself. It means that you want to understand what's happening around you. It means that you want to take your authority back to yourself. And I don't know what you're passing through. I don't know the harm. Maybe your child is having this terrible nightmare and you've gone to different churches and you don't know what to do. Or maybe it is you. Since you were a youth, this person or that person has been coming to have sex with you in the dream. Who is this person? Why are some familiar faces coming to have sex with me in the dream? Or maybe something is pursuing you. Or maybe a snake is pursuing you. Or you are having a particular repetitive dream all the time. Every night you will have a particular person maybe visit you in the dream, or you are seeing your loved ones in the dream, or you are seeing dead people in the dream, and it has left your life miserable, and you have surrendered yourself to a lot of people that doesn't even know what they are interpreting, and they have given you 50 days fasting, 70 days fasting, 200 days fasting. You have don't eat oil, don't eat in the night, don't eat in the morning, don't wear shirts to sleep, rub powder all over your body. They give you different types of rituals, but it seems to not do anything, and you have been miserable. Today I want you to listen to me. I am going to speak with you from the fundamental truth of the Word of God, and from my experiences and from my researches. And when your conscience and your spirit hears what I'm saying today, they will judge me and know if I'm saying if what I'm saying is worth listening to or not. My name is CHUMA Nzeribe. I'm the president of Shelter, Sex, Drug and Career Rehabilitation Organization, and also the general overseer of Shelter in the Storm Assembly, both based in Enugu, Nigeria. And I am your host, and this is Soul School Part 4. I am going to be talking to you about dreams, and I'm hoping that you listen to me. This is a mystery. You cannot say all the things you know about it because it's very large. But I want to lay the primary tenets, the primary foundation that will help you to control your mind and to have your psychological and spiritual independence again. I know that the Lord is going to bless you as you listen to me. Like I have asked and I'm still asking, what is dream? What is dream? What do we have to do with this mystery that came to us? Believe me, by the time we finish what we want to discuss today, you will both understand the truth of dream, you both begin to enjoy your dream, and you will never allow your dream to affect you negatively, because God is going to do wonderful things in your life. Thank you. So much is on my mind, I don't even know where to start. Perhaps it is good for me to start with explaining why men sleep. Because you cannot dream awake, you will only dream when you sleep. So I would like us to start from the story of sleep. How men began to sleep, then we will now get into how men began to dream and understand what dream is all about. You see, when God created Adam, he had a mind. Adam had mind. But like babies, he doesn't have subconscious and conscious mind. Adam just had a mind. That was what God created. Adam didn't even have much need to sleep. It's not that he couldn't sleep, but he didn't have much need to sleep because there was no tension in his body, there was no stress in his body, there was no trouble, there was no panic, there was nothing that could pull down his brain to the tired point of getting asleep. Even when before Adam sleep, it was God that forced him to sleep so that he could create the woman. The Bible says that the Lord made Adam to have a deep sleep for him to create a woman. But when Adam woke up, he woke up 100% brain and mind alert. After the creation of Eve, he woke up, he knew himself. He said, this is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh, because she came out from me. He was perfect, he was in total alertness. Adam did not have subconscious mind. He was in a complete euphoric, exciting relationship with the creative power of Elohim. God was flowing in and through him, and through the connection God had with Adam, God could connect with the rest of creation. Creation was happy, because Adam was in connection with God. But when Adam lost connection with God, the Bible said that creation is groaning with earnest expectation for the manifestation of the Son of God. Remember, the name Adam simply means son. So creation was happy because Adam was in connection with God. But when Adam fell, the illuminated power of Elohim that used to flourish through Adam, because of the sin of Adam, there was cut in relationship and communication, and Adam was demoted from being a soul man into being a brain man. Before Adam sinned, Adam was a soul man. Every inspiration, every knowledge, every direction it gets was directly from the throne of Elohim, from spiritual realm. But when Adam sinned and that caught, Adam became a brain man, and through his six senses and his environment, he began to detect what happens in his life. Because of this conscious personality, doubt was created in Adam, and when doubt came into Adam, doubt gave birth to fear. When fear was created into Adam, fear gave birth to stress. When stress was created into Adam, stress gave birth to disease. Disease. What is the meaning of disease? Disease. It means that something is no longer at ease. Adam was no longer at ease, and that was what caused his death. This alertness that came from uneasiness of Adam made Adam to begin to look for how to solve his own problems. He wanted to think about his security, so that while animals will not kill him, he thought about his children, Cain and Abel, that were having problems and killing themselves. He thought about his separation with God. He remembered that he's naked. Adam was embarrassed all over the place. And because of this bodily alertness, something happened in his mind. Adam began to use his mind, and because he has cut off from the relationship with God, he was not able to use all his mind. Adam was able to use only 17% of his brain power, and that is, he could not, whenever Adam was conscious, he could only use 17% of his brain power. That is what all human beings uses, and in every moment they use only, from that 17%, they use only 2 to 4%. So Adam was using 17% of his brain power, and when he was awake using this 17%, the other 83% of his brain power was dormant, untapped, and unused. I'm talking about how sleep came about. So Adam was using 17% of his brain power, but the other 83% of his brain power was dormant, untapped, and unused. And because this brain power was unused, the 17% is what we call consciousness. Adam was awake and Adam was conscious, but the 83% is not used at all. Do you know what happened? Every 8 to 10 hours, this 17% of the brain that Adam uses will become tired. The brain cells will become tired, the nerves will become tired, and the body system of Adam will become very tired. This is the reason why men sleep. Men sleep because of the tiredness of the 17% of brain alertness that Adam uses when he is conscious, and also because of the climatic condition. There was no electricity then, so when Adam was walking or doing whatever he was doing, towards the evening time, when darkness suggests that you stop the work you are doing, and also the body system is tired, that is now when this body system gets tired, it will collapse. And when that body system collapses, Adam will lose consciousness. That is when man loses consciousness. When the body system, the 17% of the brain that man uses, collapses because of stress, because of labor, because of anxiety, because of unanswered questions, because of the cares of what to do and what not to do, this 17% of the brain power collapses. And when this 70% of the brain power collapses, we will say that the man is sleeping. We sleep because of tiredness. We sleep because of stress. We sleep because of our inability to cope up with, what is before us, because we have cut communication with Jehovah Elohim. So when man sleeps, the mind of a man and the brain of a man, remember this, the brain cell of a man is the last cell. It lives over a man's lifetime. It doesn't die anyhow. The mind of a man is alive. The 83% of his brain is alive. So when this man falls asleep by the collapsing of his conscious self, the 83%, which is the subconscious personality of the man, is not asleep. They have not been working. The 83%, which is the subconscious mind, is strong, is powerful, is fresh. So when this conscious personality collapses and begins to sleep, the 83% will take over. Now this 83% that takes over and begins to work and begins to try to mimic what the conscious self did, it will tap information, create pictures, and begin to mimic what the conscious person have received and have done. That is when we say that we men are dreaming. Dream is when the 83%, the subconscious personality of a man, takes over and begin to work, do things that he saw the conscious self doing. He does it in an extra speed. He does it with extreme accuracy. He does it with extreme vigor. He does it with extreme creativity. That is why you see what you see happen in your dream. Dream is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful experience. It is a wonderful thing that God created in the capability of man, so that man would enjoy himself and be able to extend his power of creativity. Some dreams are very meaningful. Some dreams are very educative. Some dreams are totally meaningless. Some dreams are very horrible. Dreams comes in different styles and in different motions for different reasons, and is totally dependent on somebody's perception and somebody's cultural intelligence. But dream has been abused, dream has been misunderstood, dream has been, used to create bad things, and dream has been a very big, intimidating figure in the life of man. I was talking about sleep. Sleep is a very wonderful experience that God created for us to use to rest, and in our childhood, sleep and dream becomes a perfect wonderful time for us, because as our cells is resting, as our body is resting, we are being entertained by our dreams. Wonderful experience of rejuvenation and recreation, because as our body is resting, we are being entertained by our dreams. Those days we dream about seeing ourselves sitting on top of the moon, seeing ourselves with Santa Claus, dreaming about our little friends and our little plane and all that. It is a very perfect, wonderful experience of rejuvenation and recreation. How I wish that life will remain like that. But you see, the fall of man, the fall of Adam, sin entering into the world, and the communication with God being broken, it did not just stop in that innocence, because if it had stopped there, man would have lived very longer. But you see, experiences come and people begin to have different experiences in their life, different experiences that their body system and body metabolism and mechanism does not really want to acquaint itself with, like people having difficult circumstances in their lives, people having betrayals in their lives, people having shocks in their life, rape experiences, burglaries, armed robbery, wars, that results to fear. People having some fearful experience in their life, maybe from their father, the stories of father raping children, daughter and daughter running away, people having experiences of drug, people having experiences of cultural threats where they have some stories that is not pleasant to the positive body mechanism of man. All these experiences began to bring threats, and restlessness started going on the increase in the affairs of men. There is a place in the mind or in the brain that is called the memory. I would like to explain to you what the memory is. Please follow me, you will catch it. It's very simple, and you need this thing in your life. There is a place in the mind that is called the memory. The memory is like a library. If you have been to a library before, you will see that there is a place where they keep science books. There is another shelf where they keep political books. There is another shelf where they keep social books. There is another place where they keep religious books. There is another place where they keep fiction novels and horror novels and so on. All of them belongs to shelves. Your memory is the bank of your mind. Your memory is the place where it's like the library of your mind, where all the experiences you've had in your life are kept in orderly, perfect, orderly sequence. In your memory, every experience you had, the feeling you had when you had that experience, all the pictures are available when you had that experience, all the people are available when you have that experience. If that experience is a good one, it has its own shelf where all of them is packed. If that experience is a bad one, it has a shelf where all of them is packed. If the experience is a one that will build your confidence, there is another shelf in your memory where all of them are packed. If the experience is a horrible experience, there is another shelf where they are packed. If it is a horrible, life-threatening experience, there is another shelf where it is packed. If it is a horror film that you have watched, there is a place where it is packed. If it is bad music that increases anger, like black rap music that increases promotes anger and violence, there are places where all these things are stored in your memory. Now, what happens is that when you are having all these unsimilar circumstances or those bad circumstances that you don't like in your life and things that you are afraid of, it is not what I am afraid of that Mr. A is afraid of or Mr. B is afraid of. All of us have significant problems that makes us afraid. Some people are afraid of heights. Some people are afraid of darkness. Some people are afraid of ghosts. Some people are afraid of sickness. Different things that make people feel horrible. Everybody has his own memory, and in his memory, all the things that is making him, that will make him agitated, fearful, frustrated, restless, is packed in a particular shelf of the memory. Another thing I want to explain to you is what is called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is a particular thing that looks like an antenna. It is under your brain. This reticular activating system is what helps. Your focus. So what it does is it picks the thought that you have, the things that you have thought about mostly. And when the subconscious part of your brain takes over, this reticular activating system will go to the library, begin to focus on that thought that you think about mostly. So for those of us that had problems, I had a lot of problems. I told you that I had phobia, about sickness, and I had problems of how to cope up with my habit, with my drug, with the molestation I had in my life. So these are my problems, So when that's our brain, 17% of our brain have rested maybe for about 8 hours, and that brain cell has regained strength. What will happen is that that 17% conscious mind will want to take over, our attention and want to take over our being again. That is what it means for somebody to wake up. That part of the cells that collapsed before that has gained strength through rest will want to take over. That is when your body begins to wake up. A lot of things happen before your body wakes up. Your blood system will become aware. The more than 60 trillion cells in your body that does different jobs in your body will become aware, and all of them will begin to do their work. And this work they do will happen within split seconds before you wake up. Before you wake up, it's like putting off New York City, the whole light in New York City, and then putting them on. The whole bulb, the whole house, the whole department, the whole sources, everything will begin to happen. Now look at what happens. When your conscious part of the brain wants to take over from the subconscious will not want to let go. The subconscious enjoying what it is doing, the dream that it is formulating and how it is working all around the whole estate of your brain. The subconscious part of your brain will not want to let go so that your conscious will take over, so that you wake up. And there is always this struggle between the subconscious part and the conscious part before you wake up. When that struggle comes, the conscious part of your brain will feel threatened. And when the conscious part of your brain feels threatened, you know what will happen? Your reticular activating system, which is the part of your brain that is in charge of the translation between the subconscious and the conscious. Your reticular activating system is the antenna, or whatever you call it, that is in charge, that takes over and translates your attention from the conscious to the subconscious, or from the subconscious to the conscious. So it is in charge of both your sleeping, amongst many other works it does. It is in charge of both your sleeping and your waking up. You can Google it and check it wherever you want to check it. So this reticular activating system, immediately your conscious mind becomes threatened. What will he do? He will rush to your memory. It will rush to your memory and go to the file where threatened experiences of your life is, where horrible experiences of your life is. The reticular activating system will take your focus and rush to that place, and within some split seconds create a dream that is in accordance of whatsoever that has threatened your life. That particular dream is what is called nightmare. Nightmare is when your reticular activating system takes your focus and pushes it to the unpleasant, horrible experiences that is in the particular shelf in your memory. It will pick it and create a dream. That is when you see somebody have the head of a man, the body of a woman, the hand of a beast, the teeth of a lion, the head of all that. All these things were created from some very bad experiences, and all of them has emotion that goes along with it. Now the problem is that among everything your subconscious mind could do, your subconscious mind totally lacks the ability to differentiate between what is real and what is not real. And this is what causes the confusion in the heart of the children of men. This is where the myth, the stories, the beliefs, the diabolic attention that is given to dreams starts, because your subconscious mind is totally incompetent of differentiating between what is real and what is not. So during that time, no matter who you are, be you a professor, be you the president of America, be you the richest man in the world, be you the poorest man in the world, be you the seventh, whatever, when you are having a dream, it is to you as if the thing is happening real life, because your subconscious mind is not able to differentiate between what is real and what was manipulated and what was constructed and manufactured by your brain. So when that reticular activating system goes to your memory and picks all these horrible experiences amongst the emotion that tie them all together, it will create a story that might be meaningful, a story that might not be meaningful, but a horrible one, an unpleasant one that you don't want to have. When it happens, we will say that people have nightmares.